Hello? Are you still awake? Hello? Oh my god, did you fall asleep? That's okay. I'll just explain everything over to you again. So, we're gonna play League of Legends together. So, I'm gonna teach you how to play the game, okay? Okay, so in League, basically is 5 versus 5, and the objective is to get into the enemy's base and destroy this crystal called the Nexus. I'll describe to you the 5 roles and how they play into the game and the map first. So, at the beginning of the match, each player in the game gets to decide one champion to ban. There are some champions that directly counter other champions, or there are just some people that are really strong that you want to ban. So, regardless of what your role is, you can ban whoever you want. So in League, there are 3 lanes and then an area in between called the jungle. I'll explain from top to bottom. The top laner is a 1 versus 1 lane in which the characters are both either bruisers, tanks, or in some random scenarios, ranged or something even more sinister and devious. Obviously, there's exceptions to each role, but generally it's a bruiser or tank type character in the top lane. The middle lane has a lot of burst type characters, so a lot of mages or assassins. They're generally squishier and can do a lot more burst type damage. The next place is the bottom lane, which has 2 people in it. This is the only lane that is 2 versus 2. Every other lane is 1 versus 1. There is the ADC, which means attack damage carry, and they have a support type character. Generally, the support character helps the team out in any way they can. It isn't necessarily a healer every single time, but it can be someone who is a tank or someone that has a lot of crowd control to protect their ADC, because the ADC is generally very squishy and generally a big fat crybaby too. The last role is for the most disgusting dregs of society, called the jungler. The jungler basically roams around in between each lane, kills natural wildlife in the jungle, and they run around and they supposedly help the lanes. Supposedly, but it's very rare. Just kidding. Not really though. So, how does the game start? The point of the game, like I mentioned previously, is to get into the enemy's base and destroy their nexus. It's not so easy to just walk in and destroy it because it is protected by things called inhibitors and towers. Inhibitors only spawn within the base area, and there are 3 of them, and they respawn after a certain period of time. The next thing is called towers. There are 5 in your base, and 2 in each lane that belong to your team. The goal of the game is to destroy the towers, but it's not so easy to do it because the towers shoot out an evil laser beam that hurts you a lot. So, how do you hit them? Within your base, your nexus spawns minions. So, from your base spawns these little guys called minions. Some people also call them creeps, but generally people call them minions now. What you want to do is you want to have a wave of your minions crash into the tower so that they can tank shots for you, shots from the turret, while you attack the turret. At the beginning of the game, the turret will have these things called plates, which are basically levels of armor that you need to remove. For each plate you destroy, you get bonus gold. The main objective of the game is to get ahead of your opponents in gold so that you can buy better items to empower your character more. There are specific items for each character and each type, and you can mix and match them as you please, but generally there is a build path for each character. The items can empower you in different ways. So for example, there are items which will boost the healing done by characters that can heal other characters. There are items that will make you heal more if you are a tank character. There are items that'll give you more armor, magic resist, but there are mostly a ton of offensive ones which will boost your attack damage or ability power. Within the game, each character has 3 abilities and 1 ultimate ability. Every ability is unique per every champion, so you want to build items that will empower whatever is your main factor. If you're a tank, obviously you want to build tank items. So within the game, there are 3 different types of damage. There is attack damage, ability power, and true damage. Attack damage, which is abbreviated to AD, means that your auto attacks will get stronger as you build more attack damage items. Ability power basically is whatever your abilities damage do, and the more items you build, the higher your ability power goes on your abilities, and it doesn't affect your attack damage whatsoever. The last is called true damage. True damage is not affected by any of these. It's not affected by armor. It's not affected by ability power. It's not affected by attack damage. It is its own category. It's basically able to damage the opponent while ignoring every other factor. There are specific characters that use abilities that grant them true damage, but it isn't very common in the game. So to recap all of that, we want to kill minions because the minions give us gold. There are 2 types of minions. They are called melees and casters. There are another 2 later on. One spawns every few waves called a cannon, which is a little bit stronger, but it gives you bonus gold, and you always want to get this because you want to get ahead of the game so that you can buy better items to get ahead of your opponent. Later on in the game, if you manage to destroy an enemy's inhibitor or get your inhibitor destroyed, it spawns a special larger type of minion called supers. These supers are always melee and they do a lot of damage and can take a lot of damage. They spawn so long as the inhibitor is broken and will disappear from the game until the inhibitor is broken again. The point of the game is to last hit the minions to get gold and experience. If you do not do this, you do not get gold and experience. You also want to kill your opponents if possible and help your teammates not die/kill other opponents and gain assists. There are other objectives within the game. There are larger characters called epic monsters, or epic creatures, I guess, and they are split into 2 sides. The map of League of Legends is a completely mirrored, flipped image, so there are 2 areas for the epic monsters to spawn. In the bottom of the map, it spawns a dragon. There are a bunch of different dragons, and they all give you buffs for the entire game, such as more healing, more ability power, more attack damage, more armor, etc. There are 2 special dragons. One is called Soul. So, after a team has collected 4 dragons, a bigger, cooler dragon called the Soul will appear, and it generally gives a really good buff to your entire team. The last dragon is called Elder. The Elder Dragon, if you are able to kill it, basically makes it so that you don't have to get your opponent's HP down to 0. You only have to get it down to a certain point, and it will immediately execute the enemy if they get into that area of HP. So let's say it's at a quarter. If you get them down to a quarter HP, it will immediately execute them. I don't know the exact percentage of HP, but it shows a visual indicator in the game on your opponent's health bar, if you're curious. Within the top lane, the epic monsters that spawn there, one is called grubs. They are these 3 wormy looking things which have these little baby grubs, and they can help you take down towers if you manage to kill them. The next thing is called the Rift Herald. It's this giant bug that you can ride into towers to destroy them, and she will help you destroy the towers as well. The final one is called the Baron. The Baron spawns a few times in the game, but it's a late game type creature. When you kill the Baron, any teammate that is alive on your team gets a Baron buff. So if you're dead and your teammates kill the Baron, you won't get the buff. The Baron buff makes it so that if you are near a wave of minions, you basically automatically empower them and make them larger and do more damage. Like I mentioned before, the objective of the game is to get into the enemy's base and destroy the crystal called the Nexus. Once the Nexus is destroyed, the game is automatically won. So we want to stay ahead of our opponents at all times. How the game generally will start, the jungler will be at a thing. So because the jungler is not within a lane, they kill the monsters in between the lanes in the jungle. They are weak at the beginning and need help. So generally the bottom lane, both ADC and support, will come up to leash the jungler. Leashing basically means that they are attacking the monster in the jungle, but not killing it, just getting it low enough to help the jungler so that they don't take too much damage at the beginning of the game. Sometimes there is a thing that you can do called invading, in which you will go into the enemy's jungle and steal their monsters. Sometimes you can sneak up on them, but generally their teammates and your teammates will be posted up and keeping an eye on things. After the jungler has been leashed, all people will return to their lanes and begin the laning phase. Each character starts at level 1 and goes to a maximum of level 18. At level 1, you only have one ability unlocked. So, you want to enter your lanes, kill minions to get gold and experience, and level up. It's a race to see who can CS better, which means last hitting the minions to secure the gold. You don't get any gold or experience if you do not kill the minions with the last hit. At level 6, you unlock your ultimate ability. So again, each character has 3 abilities and an ultimate ability. Generally, each character has a specific combo, and they will use the combo to try to lower the opponent's health bar to get them low enough to kill. The jungler, what they need to do is to keep an eye on things, see who's low, and potentially gank a lane to help secure a kill. If you are able to secure a kill against your opponent, you can choose to push your wave of minions under the tower and take some of the tower's HP away. At any point of the game, you can back, which means you teleport back into your base to buy the items. Some characters hit a specific thing called a power spike when they receive certain items. For some people, it's their second item. For some people, their power spike comes as they level up their abilities. Each champion is very unique. No champion has the exact same abilities. So, as the game goes on and your team potentially gets ahead, your jungler is going to want to take some of these epic monsters like the dragon or the grubs or the Rift Herald. They have specific timers in which they are on the map. So the dragons are there until someone kills it. The grubs only show up for a certain period of time, the Rift Herald only shows up for a certain period of time, and the Baron only shows up after a certain amount of time has passed and will continually respawn after a few minutes if needed. Generally, you won't end up killing a Baron more than once, but sometimes the game can go on longer and you will end up killing him multiple times. A lot of the times, the jungler will posture towards bottom lane because the bottom lane is where the dragons spawn, and the dragons are very important as they give you the buffs that are unremovable from your team. You get buffs that are on your team for the entire game. It's the job of the laners to watch the jungler, see where the jungler is, and help them out with securing these objectives / securing kills. You want to gain priority by either damaging your opponents enough that they cannot contest an objective, or kill them so that they cannot contest an objective. If you get far enough ahead in the game, you can get a bounty on you, which basically means whoever kills you will get bonus gold. This is a really big deal because sometimes it can go up to 1,000 bonus gold, and your opponent can get their item to potentially get a power spike to kill you. You can throw entire games by having your carry be the one who loses their bounty. So, as the game goes on, you can choose to destroy towers. Actually, you need to destroy towers. You can't destroy a tower without having the tower in front of it be destroyed first. One thing a lot of top laners will do is they'll either help you out, be in the game, follow you around and tank all the damage, or they'll be a freak and they'll split push, which means that basically your entire team will be on one side of the map. They will choose to take this opportunity and the distraction to sneak over and just push one lane and try to push the minions as far as possible so that they can siege the enemy's base. In endgame, this can be a really big deal, as if they have the Baron buff, which empowers minions, makes them stronger, makes them tankier, and makes them do more damage, they can end up taking multiple towers in one push. So basically, the objective is to just help your team out. Very shocking, I know. Get strong, kill your opponents, and siege their base. It sounds simple, but a lot of the times, your teammates will be literally apes on a keyboard, like actual insane asylum patients in your game, and they're actually crazy. It's really comedic to see how insane people can go sometimes. I think a lot of people are scared to try League, firstly because it's a steep learning curve, but also because there's just so much toxic behavior, but it's really not that deep. It's really just banter at the end of the day. I've personally found that games like Valorant, Marvel Rivals, and Dead by Daylight are equally as toxic as League of Legends, just in different ways. And if you're really that scared, the mute button exists for a reason. There's always going to be people griefing, and actually getting your opponent tilted is a very legitimate strategy to the game. I don't know if this made sense or not. There are 170 different champions, so some of them have direct counters to other champions, and some of them have very unique playstyles. There are some champions where they are like hit and run, where they are basically a car that runs into you and just destroys you immediately. You get isekai'd. And there are other ones that like to do psychological warfare, such as Shaco, Twitch, Teemo, where their entire objective is to get on your nerves and annoy you. It's actually a very strong skill to be able to keep a level head in a game and not get tilted. So there are a ton of different roles, a ton of different characters, a ton of different playstyles. There's surely one for you, and I implore you to try the game. Or at least, maybe now that you listened, it'll make sense when you're watching your next anime waifu play the game, and you'll understand what the heck they're getting so mad about, or what the heck is even going on. There are other game modes, but the one that I just described to you is called Summoner's Rift, and it is the main game mode of League. There is another game mode called ARAM, which which is just a single lane. ARAM stands for All Random, All Mid, which was originally a custom game mode that League players would play, where they would press a random champion, walk up, and everyone would just stay in the mid lane and just free-for-all it. They created their own special game mode so that people can choose to do this mode. This game mode is now its own thing, and it's very popular and a lot more casual than Summoner's Rift. The objective is the same, but because there is only one lane, instead it is 2 towers within the lane that belong to you, and 3 towers. I think 3 towers. I'm trying to think right now. I'm pretty sure it's 3 towers with 1 inhibitor and 1 nexus on your team. The objective is the same. Push your lane, push your minions into the base, and destroy the nexus. So now that you know how to play League, obviously we're gonna play together, right? Right? Hello? Did you fall asleep? No, it's okay, it's fine. I don't even care. I guess I'll just start from the beginning again.